Nintendo can be an absolute genius company and video game developer at times. And Super Mario Maker is a great example of this. Making your own levels and sharing them all with the community is good fun and also the easiest thing in the world for Nintendo to do. Just give them the tools and come up with some interesting things they can do, and that's it. However, now that the sequel of the game is here, which should have more buzz going for itself since the Nintendo Switch is a bigger success than the Wii U, I want to look at some amazing levels I came across. So let's dive right in. Number 10. Now for our very first level, we will look at something that isn't too weird or different from anything Nintendo would do, but it still looks amazing. The level is called Castle Trip, and as you can imagine, it was inspired by the many fortresses of Bowser seen in the series. Now in this level, there are a couple of elements that make it a lot of fun. One of them is the platforming over the lava that is seen at the start. It's a minor platforming section, and there is even a portion where spikes pop up on the sides of the platforms every now and then, making timing crucial. But it's not that difficult. After that, we get something completely different. A bunch of corridors with enemies on the roof and floor, forcing the player to jump at the right time. And then we get to the hardest part. Another platforming section with timing and even a staircase at the end that you need to do right, or you will get stuck and are taken out by a huge lava snake. This last part is especially hard, well, for me at least. However, I like the mechanics the builder came up with, and it makes for a great challenge. So it's quite short and easy, but certainly a fun one. Number 9. Now this next one certainly raises the bar because especially the fun factor increased by 1,000,000. It's called SM3DW Mario Kart Funtime Drive. Alright, this level is just made to be something simple and entertaining. It's basically a small driving section built around the Koopa car and plays itself for the most part. However, the style and look of it are great in my opinion. Very bright, colorful and cheerful. And all you have to do is jump a couple of times and ride. So nothing too special, but still a good one. That's why it's on the list, so give it a shot yourself. Number 8. Now, I will admit, if a level has an overall nice look, then there's a way higher chance that I will actually like it. And that's also the case with our next level called the Walk Through Koopa Woods. Overall, this is quite a standard level and actually looks like something Nintendo could have made themselves. So, as you can imagine, it looks stunning and even has a couple of tricks up its sleeve. One of those is the bridge section halfway through the level. And right after that, there's even a little trap. However, I won't spoil that because if you know about it, then you can easily avoid it. Now, if you survived all these dangerous hazards, you will make it to the final challenge the creator throws at you, which is certainly the most difficult. Because at the ending, there are 2 pipes leading up to the top of the flagpole, but there are 2 hammer bros waiting for you. Well, actually a hammer bro and a sledge bro. As you can imagine, these will make your life a living hell right before the finish. But if you get past them, you're incredibly happy. So overall, this is a quality level with some interesting mechanics throughout. Number 7. Now this next level is so good in terms of overall style and design concept that you have to try it yourself. Yet again, this one is mostly great because of the overall look and not because it's very hard or anything like that. It's called Skyline of New Toad City. In the level, you'll be going through a skyscraper to make your way to the top, and in order to get there, you will have to avoid and beat a bunch of enemies. After going through them all, you will be confronted with a boss that has to be defeated in order to open a locked door. And then, everything changes. Because the level transforms from a tower that you need to fight your way through to a huge platforming section at the top of the skyline. Here you need to use paratroopers, hidden beanstalks and more to make your way from one rooftop to the other. I like the fact that you're going from something combat heavy with a clear progression since you're going up and up and up, to finally reaching the top where you get to see the beautiful skyline the creator made and also experience a fun platforming section. Overall, a great level. Number 6. Now when it comes to video games, I'm a big fan of combat in every way, shape and form. That's why I love Zelda, The Witcher, Dark Souls, and more games like that. But in general, Super Mario games are all about platforming. But this level does things differently in a very creative way. It's called the 4 Boss Challenge Rush, where you will have to get through 4 major challenges, where you need to beat bosses, or even other things, so you can get a key to finish the level. And the fun thing is, you can even do them out of order. As long as you do them all, it's fine, because you will get the key regardless. Now, in order to give you an idea of how cool this level is, we will look at the first and last challenge. For the first one, you take on a simple boss fight, where you have to beat a gigantic pom-pom and a smaller boom-boom. This is just a fight, nothing more or less. Still, it can be a tough one to beat, since you have to take on both in a really small room. And in the very last one, you take on Boom Boom again, but this time with a twist. Bombs that are breaking the platform below you. If you're not fast enough and even stop them using the fire flower, you won't be able to get through the door. But in order to get the key, you will have to shoot fireballs through the clear pipes to hit Boom Boom. Certainly a very creative fight, and I like it. Number 5. This level is quite straightforward because the name of the level already explains exactly what you will encounter. It's called Claws and Slopes, so as you can imagine, you go from slope to slope using the claws to swing to the next one. A fun challenge that's hard to pull off because as soon as you lose speed, it's gonna be hard to reach the next one. And at some points you will even get stuck and clip into the terrain for a bit if you swing back and forth in order to get some momentum. It's a fun level to at least try, and personally I like these claws a lot. They're fun to mess around with. Number 4. Now, this next level also has a central theme based around one mechanic. This time the thwomps that will help you clear a path. The level is called Mysterious Thwomp Cavern, and in this level you will sort of explore a cave, however you're using the thwomps found there to create a path. You do this by triggering their attack, and if you're careful enough, they will destroy all the brick blocks in your path and allow you to get through. You even have to climb on them so you can get to higher places, get past spikes, and a whole lot more. So it's not just using the thwomps to break through things, but also to get you to certain places so you can progress. And it isn't even that simple, because there are puzzles as well. So some portions will require you to experiment a bit in order to figure out what you need to do. Overall, this is an extremely impressive level and very well made. It even introduces you to the mechanics in a good and friendly way. So certainly give this one a shot. Also, little side note, if you want to know more about the thwomps, then check out our Evolution of series on the channel, and if you want more videos like this one, then have a look at our other top 10s. I will link those in the upper right corner. But let's continue. Number 3. Like I mentioned before, I think the overall look of a level is important, and this next one excels in that as well. It's called the Well Beneath Koopa Cottage. At first, I wasn't too impressed by this level, but as soon as you get to the water sections, where you have to collect keys at certain points to continue, it becomes really good. Because during the swimming sections, you have to avoid all kinds of enemies while going down, like wigglers who work extremely well underwater, and every time you're going to collect a key, you will have to solve a small puzzle or platforming challenge in order to get it. And the further you go down, the harder it gets. Personally, I love this level. Everything works so well. Number 2. Now for our last 2, I saved up some amazing levels, and the one ending up on number 2 is a fun combat challenge where defeating your enemies is very important, as well as avoiding them. It's called High Up in the Sky, which has 2 segments, both being vastly different from each other and require you to focus on different things. It's set on what looks like an airship, and it starts with something I would call the Hellevator, which is a platform elevator, but along the way you encounter all your nightmares. Enemies will start dropping down, cannons will shoot buzzy beetles and bullet bills at you, and there are even hazards along the way. As you can imagine, this will make it really hard to get past this part. Especially the buzzy beetle shells that will be spinning around at some point can be a pain. Now, if you survived all of this, then you get to the battle with the big bad guy Bowser Jr., which you have to do on moving platforms, and as you can imagine, this doesn't make it easier. Overall, I like the challenge the level presents, so give it a try yourself. Number 1. Now this level is so good. It's called the SS Teacups Revenge, and it's based on a ship from Captain Syrup seen in Super Mario Land 3, which is an amazing 2D platformer game, this time with Wario. As you can imagine, this means it's a ship level, and its design reflects this very well. I especially fell in love with the look of the place. Out of all the levels in this video, this is the prettiest one. Besides that, it's quite clever, mostly defeating some enemies here and there. However, there are two things that save it from becoming boring. The doors found in the levels that lead to fun rewards or side activities like a boss fight, and the area below, which is pitch black, lit up by enemies found there. These things are different from the rest of the level and are quite fun sections in my opinion. But still, from a gameplay standpoint, it's not that special. However, certainly give it a shot. And also don't forget to check out the playlist and other videos I left in the upper right corner for you. There is even a top 5 overpowered Super Mario power-ups video there. But for now, this is the end. I hope you all enjoyed this and actually give these levels a shot, because all of them took ages to make, some were absolutely gorgeous, and a ton of fun to go through. Thanks for watching everybody, I hope you enjoyed. If you want to watch more videos, be sure to click the annotations on the screen right now. Also check in the upper right corner for the playlists and other videos I left there. And click subscribe and the bell button, then you won't miss anything.